What's going on, guys? This is Empty Box, and this is iRacing IMSA from Montreal, where today we're driving the Corvette Daytona Prototype 45-minute race with limited fuel tank capacity. We will need a pit stop somewhere before the end, and I didn't live commentate this one because it's a 3-car class grid, and one of those cars is 8 seconds off the pace. And the other car in this race qualified half a second faster and practiced half a second faster than me. And I'm like, yeah, this probably ain't going to be a race. This is about to be 45 minutes of me just kind of driving around being all like, I'm just here for the SR. But of course, you're seeing this video, so that's not how things actually went. I just want to warn you in advance, this is a 45-minute race, and it was a 2-car grid. There wasn't necessarily 82 position changes for the lead, but is more so about the quality of the battle that basically goes the whole distance of this race. If you just want to cut down to the end results, basically the final end game, if you will, you can just skip to about 15 minutes before the end of this video and just cut to the chase. Whereas if you kind of want to know how you get there, how this all played out from my perspective and what I was kind of thinking in the moment, that's what the rest of the race is for. So anyways, let's get on with the actual race. I'll shut up, cut out when I need to, and hopefully you guys will enjoy this one.
Stop, Dennis. Damn, sorry mate, that was an early break.
Here now, here now.
now that we're a little bit into the race, I kind of want to go ahead and explain a little bit of my strategy, a little bit of my mindset here. I know the guy I'm racing against is a little bit faster, or a good bit faster. We're hanging in there. I think he's definitely got the pace overall at this stage. To beat me, I don't think that I'm going to find the pace to beat this guy just on raw pace. If I'm going to end up beating him, which is obviously the goal, I need to do something different. I need to play the game, you know? So there's two thoughts going through my mind. First of all, I can't wait to get to traffic, because when we do get to the GT traffic, I feel like that's an area where I excel versus most of the drivers in iRacing. You know, I've got a lot of experience from both ends of the stick as someone driving the prototypes versus someone driving the GT cars. I've done both ends of the spectrum, and I personally feel like my mind kind of works in that tactical, you know, when is it best to roll off the throttle, lose a half second here to gain 3/4 of a second, you know, at the other end of the straightaway, perhaps, that type of thing. I love that. As well as, you know, I did do a race earlier on in the week, and I noticed about 35-40 minutes in, the car just wasn't driving the same. You know, it just didn't have the same bite coming off the corner. You know, it's sliding a little bit, getting into the traction control, you know, pretty regularly, and you're just kind of working the wheel. So with that in mind, I figured we need to keep close enough here, but we do need to be mindful and really be careful with our right foot. Keep out of the traction control, because even though the traction control will help save the tires and will obviously help keep you from spinning out, if you're getting into the traction control, you're obviously sliding some way, shape, or form, and that's not a good thing. So yes, it'll save your butt, but that doesn't mean that you're saving the tires all that much. It really just kind of depends on how you get into it.
I'm gonna brake early. Go, go.
Lap 12.
Det stämmer inte vad är det med?
Yeah, my internet's fine. I was disconnected for some reason.
Thank you. Fucking kidding, man? Help. What the fuck is wrong with you?
Sorry, man. I didn't mean to do that.
What happened?
And as he dives into the pits, we inherit the lead. And there's a couple things going through my mind at this moment. Why did he make that pit stop? And we now have all of the advantages. Now there's only a couple reasons I could come up with as for why he'd make the pit stop now. There's the strategy side of things where, you know, sometimes you'll see people that will start the car with a little bit less fuel in the tank, making the car a little bit lighter, a little bit faster, and then they'll take a longer pit stop to add more fuel into it. You still end up using the same fuel to complete the same race distance, but how you break it up, you know, some people prefer to do it that way, although generally I think that's a very poor strategy, so I don't think that's the case, although I did feel like this pit stop was a little bit earlier than I was expecting, so maybe he was doing that. And in which case, if he is, that's just all the better for us, because that means we're keeping up with a lighter weight car that's going to be sitting parked on pit road longer than what I am. The other reason that he could have made a pit stop at this point, and this is actually what it turned out to be, we went ahead and talked about things after this race, is he felt like he was coming up to traffic and now would be a good time to make a pit stop with a clean pit entry. You know, no GT traffic balking them, especially here. You know, you're flying down that long backstretch, you just go as fast as possible and just hammer on into the pits which if you have traffic there, you're going to run someone over, and that's going to be very unfortunate. So bearing this all in mind, and again, remember that I don't know that he's making a stop because of the traffic side of things, I know absolutely 100% positively I now have all of the advantages. I have the lighter car, we have the same tires because no one's changing tires here. Alternatively, if he's changing tires, well then I've already got this race in the bag. And because I do have the lighter car, I don't need to drive as hard because the pace has been neutralized. You know, he may have been a tenth or two faster, you know, just at the start of this race, full-on heads-up racing, but because he's now got significantly more fuel than what I'm carrying at this stage, and we got the same tires, that pace is going to equalize. So for him to be able to try and leapfrog or run away from me, it's going to take a good increase in pace compared to where I am, and if I can just keep on doing what I'm doing, you know, being mindful of the tires, not getting too carried away, then we should be in good condition here.
Oh, how I do love a Sunday GP driver.
He's only 8 seconds off the pace.
Yeah, it'll be fine.
Man, I've never heard of a practice session before.
I'm so sorry, man. Whoa, sorry, man.
Sorry if I slowed your corner exit there, we would.
And sure enough, we come out just about the exact same position we were before the pit stop split, about 2 seconds or so behind, which obviously when you're racing in a multi-class environment such as this, especially where you got such a speed differential between the Daytona Prototypes and the GT3s in the middle of some of the corners, you know, we're basically right on top of them. We're right there. This is the point that we've been working to the whole race. It's go time.
Thank you, Greg.
Nice driving, guys. Dude, let me pass, please. Thank you. Help me. Good. You're welcome. Can I pass, please? Thank you.
Thank you.
Sorry, I didn't have my box pulled up. Didn't know your name.
Thank you.
Thank you, Drew.
No problem, guys.
Yeah, cheers, man.
Wow, dude, how about you pay attention when you rejoin? Holy fuck. I don't mean to swear or get mad, but that's crazy. That's up, all of you.
Sebastian.
you see sparks, you know they're pushing.
Thank you. Make sure you're at map by 2.
If I were a shark, this would be the point where I'm swimming around a puddle of blood in the water, just being all like, I'm gonna eat something. That's pretty much what was going through my mind.
I'm not gonna get involved.
Vaya mierda de coche que llevo.
Thank you.
Cheers. Cheers, Vader.
¿Qué vas a dar un par de
Merci.
Go ahead, bitch.
You didn't get a slowdown, did you?
Excellent.
Thank you. You're welcome, Jay.
Man, you didn't need to do that. You fought it hard.
No slowdown, man. Good, I thought I might have pinched you a little bit there. The fact is, there's not room for 2 cars. Both of you guys go. Can I pause, please?
won the race, which you guys know what that means. It's time to make them donuts. Oh yeah. Even in a 3-car race, gonna make the donuts. But hey, 3-car race, you know what that means. Podiums for everybody! Yay! Participation trophies! Yeah. I kind of want to hit on a couple of different things here. We had a conversation after the race until we got booted by the server. But he said that he started pushing a little bit harder towards the end of the race. I imagine as the gap started to close down a bit. You know, due to the pace kind of swinging back in my favor there. Towards the end, I was generally about a 10th or 2 faster for the last 5 to 10 laps thereabout. And then obviously the traffic compounding things. And he mentioned that he started to slide around a bit more and the car just wasn't having it. And sort of like I said, if we can keep the car underneath us and, you know, work an advantage, pay a 10th here, gain a 2nd there, you know, and that's ended up being what happened in my opinion. He didn't seem very likely to blame tire wear, but I put that all in the same basket for me personally. But we also talked about wing angles and downforce. He was running a bit more downforce than what I was. My straight line speed was consistently faster. I was generally about 5 to 6 miles an hour faster down the back straight, lap after lap, comparing without any, you know, tow or slipstream, just purely because of the wing angles, which obviously that has a huge factor and would have made us very difficult to pass as well. And if you want to know just how equal we were, I didn't know this until obviously you get the results page after the race, but take a look at the fastest lap time in class. I had the fastest lap in class at a 1:30.594. He had the second fastest fast lap of the race at a 1:30.598. You can't get any closer than that, which is just a sign of good close racing and, you know, competitive grid, even with 2 cars. So that's that. That's got to be the most exciting 2-car race I've ever been a part of. Hey, it ain't about the cars on the grid, it's about the competitiveness of the grid. Lesson learned. But anyways, hope you guys all enjoyed. Roll on the Carnage Report. Bye.